Danielle Duffy made her mark on the field with the hockey team and on the track as well. On the field, she was an All-American and a 3-time Centennial Conference Player of the Year. She led the Garnet to 3 consecutive Centennial Conference championships as well as an ECAC championship. Danielle also led the field hockey team to the only NCAA championship in that program's history. Let me check it. Championship appearance. She still holds the field hockey mark for career points, and she's second in career goals scored. She's a lightning fast sprinter as well. Danielle was equally impressive on the track, recording the second fastest times in the program history in the 100 and 200-meter dash. She guided her team to Centennial titles in 1997 and 98, and she was named the conference's most outstanding performer at each championship, earning 8 gold medals. Danielle is now a cardiologist and an assistant professor of medicine at Thomas Jefferson University, and from what I understand, she still plays a pretty mean game of hockey. From the class of 1998, Danielle Duffy.
Thank you so much to Swarthmore College, to the athletic department, to President Chop for this privilege and honor to be here tonight. As other members and inductees have mentioned, it wouldn't be possible without the support of our family, our teammates, and our friends. Swarthmore is such a nurturing community and place, and it's the same in the classroom as it is on the hockey field. Some of my closest friends who are still friends today, I made on the field hockey field and on the track. And I really couldn't be here without their support and their efforts as well. I'd like to thank especially my family. My parents, Dennis and Dolores Duffy, are here tonight. My grandmother, Mary Kleinhans, my husband, Kelly, and daughter, Haley. An interesting tidbit, in my senior year, in the field hockey season, my father actually attended more field hockey games than I did. I had to miss a game for a medical school interview, but he was still there to support the team in my absence. So, you know, again, as Bennett had mentioned, it wouldn't be without the support of our family, our coaches. I was lucky enough to have several amazing coaches in field hockey, Richard Kenwell and Karen Warby, who's here tonight, and in track, Ted Dixon. So it's really a true privilege and honor to be here tonight and to be in the inaugural class with all these other amazing athletes. And thank you so much.
DuffyEsrey was a 3-sport star at Swarthmore, playing football, basketball, and baseball. A 2-time All-American football player, he was a threat from anywhere on the field, be it running, passing, receiving, or punting. Dick shares the career points record and touchdowns mark at Swarthmore, and once he returned 2 kickoffs for touchdowns in a single game, an NCAA record that stood for nearly 50 years. As a shortstop on the baseball team, Dick led the Garnet in nearly every statistical category, earning 2nd team All-District honors. And on the basketball court, he was a member of a team that won 1 Mid-Atlantic Conference championship and made it to the finals of another. When I called Dick to let him know of his induction to the Hall of Fame, he said he considered it one of the highlights of his career. Well, Dick, it's the legacy that you left at Swarthmore that will resonate with our Swarthmore student athletes for generations to come. From the class of 1950, DuffyEsrey.
He did call that night and took me by big surprise, and it was a big thrill. I'm also sorry tonight that my dad can't be here, who was my biggest critic, but also my biggest rooter and my biggest mentor. And an interesting story about that, I think Swarthmore has produced a half dozen, perhaps more, big league pitchers, one of whom is my teammate Dick Hall, who will be honored in a minute or two. And it's rather interesting that two of those pitchers from the early 20s and Dick from the late 40s had a shortstop at Swarthmore named Ezra. Now, before you think I'm an extremely slow learner, it did not take me 30 years to get the degree. But my dad was captain of the 23 team, and I was captain of the 1950 team. So that was great. I remember when Adam called me, it obviously turned my thoughts back to the fall of 1946, when I was reporting as a 17-year-old fresh out of high school to the preseason football camp. And that was the year, if you will recall, in 46, that all the veterans came back from World War II. And I was the youngest player on the team. I had teammates who were 26 years old coming back to finish their education. And believe me, I was a nervous wreck, trying to keep up. I have been taught all my elders should be called Mr. or Mrs. or Sir or Ma'am if I didn't know their name. And about the second day of practice, Lou Elverson, in the middle of practice, said, "Everybody take a couple laps. Esrey, you come here." I thought, what have I done wrong? Done everything I've been told? What's the matter? He said, "You've got to stop calling me teammates, Sir and Mr." And he said, "You've got to start calling me Lou, not Mr. Elverson." I said, "Okay, I'll call you Lou, Mr. Elverson." He said, "You just go take it." But anyhow, when the first game came and I ran out on the field with the starting team, that was a huge thrill. But it's nowhere near the thrill that it used to be tonight. I do want to thank everybody that worked to make this thing possible. The nominators, the selectors, everyone putting all this together in all parts. And not to miss, I think our president, I understand from some of the students, has a pet name that is used not to her face. And I'm going to use it tonight. Thanks a lot, Dr. Becky, for making this.
You should have seen the relieved look on Dr. Chop's face. There was a Sports Illustrated article about Dick Hall in June of 1963 that described him as acting and looking more like an instructor of qualitative analysis than a baseball player. I can't think of a more appropriate description of a Swarthmore athlete with arguably the most storied professional career in our history. Dick played professional baseball for 16 years, 9 of them with the Baltimore Orioles, where he helped them win the American League pennant in 1969 and 1971, and the World Series in 1966 and 1970. Of course, it gives us great pride to say that he cut his teeth on our fields. Dick lettered in baseball, football, basketball, track and field, and soccer while he was here. He still holds many of the program records, including strikeouts, batting average, and earned run average. He also still holds the school record for the long jump, a mark he set at Franklin Field where he leapt 23¼ feet while wearing his baseball spikes. Dick was also a standout basketball and football player, earning all-league honors in each sport. He's a member of the Baltimore Orioles Hall of Fame, and we're proud to know him as one of ours. From the class of 1963, Dick Hall. Check that 50.
I'd like to give special thanks to the people that made the Garnet Athletic Hall of Fame possible, and especially to Adam. And it's something that I think is really appreciated by not only the athletes that have been here, but by all the alumni. When I was getting ready to go to college, I finally got it down to 2 schools, Swarthmore and Dartmouth. And I kind of thought, I think Swarthmore would be more fun. Dartmouth, I'm probably just going to play football and that's it. But Swarthmore, closer to home, and I can play more sports. And I'm really, really glad I made that decision, because one of my happiest years of my life were here in Swarthmore. And particularly with the athletics, I enjoyed being able to play a different sport each season. I think is more fun than the current system. You play one sport and that's it. And I think that being able to do everything is a whole lot better. I had visions of maybe playing pro baseball while I was here, and sometimes they wonder, well, how come a school like Swarthmore, that's not a place you want to go to if you want to be a pro baseball player. But in point of fact, that we're just fine.